This is the Race Communiqué with Luke Durbridge, Tom Southam, and me, Mitch Docker. Brought to you exclusively by Training Peaks and our friends at MAP.
Boys, you're about to kick off. Well, we're all about to kick off. Well, no, I'm not about to kick off. This is the Tour de France preview emergency pod. I've called them in. Boys, you're on the eve of the tour.
Emergency.
G'day,
It's a Tour de France haircut day special. It's the day you go and get your hair cut before you go. So it's nice that you did the pod just the day before that, and we've got video now, Mitch. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just like, just picture me like this.
Yeah.
You know, like this is, I mean, you can't see it, but like, you know.
Why do you need to get your hair cut before you go to the tour?
Because it's just like it's the biggest race of the year, and I look disgraceful.
All right. Boys, this is Life in the Peloton Race Communiqué presented by MAP. But the Race Communiqué is being exclusively brought to you by our partner, Training Peaks. Training Peaks is the gold standard. If you've been listening to us all year, you know what Training Peaks is. It's the gold standard when it comes to endurance training software for both cyclists and athletes in and out of the World Tour Peloton. Whether you're training for anything, you need Training Peaks to map what you've got going. If you want to get on board with Training Peaks, guys, check them out. Go across to trainingpeaks.com/LITP to get a further 20% off your Training Peaks premium plan. Use the code LIFEPELO for that 20% off your subscription, and you can get Training Peaks Virtual, all the perks involved with Training Peaks Premium. But guys, this emergency pod, we're going to chop through it. This is a Tour de France preview, isn't it?
I think so.
It is.
Now we know. We nearly know what's happening. We nearly know who's starting. There's still a few outliers there.
It's literally such a delayed release of when people is like, it feels, I think maybe because we're leaving on Monday, it feels closer than it actually is. Like I'm going down to Girona to do a couple of days team's time trial training before we head on to Barcelona. And you sort of feel like, oh man, some teams haven't even announced their squads yet. Like, what are they leaving till like Friday? But we've still got a week. Well, less than a week, but you know, plenty of time.
Well, I'll run through it. Let's get through it. Let's get into it. You mentioned it starting in Barcelona this year, a bit of a difference in Spain. They've got the first three stages there, but they're finishing up in Paris. Of course, it's 113th edition, 3,333 kilometres to be exact, 54,000 metres of climbing. So it looks like there's going to be 7 sprint stages, 9 mountain stages, 3 hilly stages, and 2 time trials. The question is, how does that compare to the years before? That's all we really care about. Well, it's about 13 kilometres further than last year. So, Durbo, I hope you've been training for that extra distance.
Yep,
the main point is it's 2,000 metres more climbing in this year's tour, which means it's essentially a whole stage worth of climbing extra. So the difference there is 7 flat stages. They're about the same as last year. 9 mountain stages compared to the 6 last year. 6 hilly stages last year, 3 this year, and 2 time trials. Difference is team's time trial in this year's tour. Last year, just 2 individual time trials. As I mentioned, though, boys, we are starting in Barcelona. So that is going to be one of the big differences, starting in Spain with that Triple T. And Durbo, of course, there is going to be difference with this Triple T because it's an uphill finish. They're finishing up Montjuic. That's going to be really different. It's a pretty technical TT, Triple T. The difference here is they're doing also, as we mentioned in the last pod, finishing with 1 rider. So essentially get your last rider to the bottom of that climb and sprint up Montjuic. It's going to be really different to kick things off, isn't it?
Definitely. They've been doing it the last couple of years. Definitely ASO was finishing with 1 rider. So this we're sort of pretty used to it now. Like I can't remember the last team's time trial we did that you actually finished with 4. It's been quite a while now. So we're all pretty used to it, but it's going to be mega. Like it's going to be incredible. Barcelona, you're just down the boulevards, past Sagrada Familia. As a spectacle, it's going to be high level, and I think there's just going to be thousands and thousands of people down there. And I'm super excited. You know, pretty close to home. As you know, I lived in Barcelona for a year at one point in my career, so it's I'm pretty excited to start down there.
Well, even better is the following stage, because the next day is finishing 3 times up Montjuic. I don't know, like as a rider, probably not that fun, but as a spectacle, that's where they finish the Vuelta a Catalunya every year. That's going to be a cool stage to view. Stage 3 is really cool too. That's all through home roads. Well, the roads that I used to ride on, you as well, Durbo, starting in Barca, well, just outside of Barca, and they're heading up over through La Molina, and up Col de Tozes on the old small road, Durbs. That's a bitch, that climb. And then you're going over the top up to Les Anglais, all familiar roads. And then once then, you're crossing over into France finally, Carcassonne de Foix, a bit of a breakaway stage. Got a stage into Po, which is looking like a bit of a sprint stage. And then, look, stage 6 is the first big boy mountain stage. You got the Col de Tourmalet, the Aspen before that. Things are going to be starting to get a little bit more saucy by the time they get there. Before the riders are going to head into Bordeaux for a sprint stage, typical sprint stage through Bordeaux. And then, look, pretty much through the middle of France there, as they make their way across the Alps, the middle sort of week or the middle period of the Tour de France there is a bit of a sprinter stages, flatter stages, punchier stages. For me, the real next notable stage doesn't really come until stage 10. The stage to Lille-Lyon, sorry. Is that how you say it, Southam? No, it's not correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's how someone says it.
Auberge. Ronde Auberge.
Just go with it.
The last 10 years that the Tour de France has finished there, they finished there 3 times, so it's a real feature. This stage is going to be a bit of a saucy one. I think it's a bit of a GC battle in terms of the amount of up and downs there are there. I feel like UAE are going to be controlling it. Pog will want to get redemption from 2024. Where Jonas was able to get that stage win over the top of him. So this is going to be a great stage to look out for. So that is definitely one where things are going to get a little spicy. Then we're into the Alps after a couple more stages. We've got stage 14 where we head into the Alps. And from here, guys, there really is a lot of climbing. Stage 14, as I mentioned, is up and down. It looks like it's going to be a great stage for Ben Healy. And look, they're going up this bike track, the Col de Hague, 11K at like 7%. This is going to be a really great stage to check out. From there, they're going to be going from there. Stage 15, another really tough stage. They're fitting up Plateau de Salasson, which is also being featured in the Auvergne, Rhone Alps. From there, the guys are going to be heading down. The next stage, really, the last 2 stages for me that are really the notable stages are stage 19 and 20, where they're going to be tackling Alpe d'Huez twice. 19, a little bit more short, punchy. Alpe d'Huez, they're going to be getting there from Gap, 3 cats up Alpe d'Huez. Then the following day, again, heading up Alpe d'Huez.
Backside.
They're going up backside. Sorry, they're heading up Alpe d'Huez, up the backside. This is really going to be cranking it in now. 5,600 meters of climbing. What are you guys laughing at?
Up the backside.
Oh,
all right. We might have to edit that one.
Gonna hit that one up the backside.
Up the backside.
Boys, look, a very, very, very sharp run in, but for me, what this tour stands out to be, it's heavily loaded in the back end. This is the Alps are big this year. It's a lot through the Alps. It's, again, a very fast forward of the tour. I want you guys who have been studying it a little bit more than me as you're heading there to give me your opinions, boys, quickly on the stages before we get into what stages stand out, and overall, Southam, from you, and overall of this year's Tour de France.
I think, like you said, I'm usually like heavily backloaded for a tour, more like a, when you look at the whole profile, it is hard at the start, which is good. I think the tour needs that, or helps the tour. I'll get into that a bit more in my spot. But those last sort of couple of days there obviously set up for like a grand final sort of thing. It's going to be really interesting to see whether that works out or whether it peters out like the Tour sort of can do when you get the strongest by then. So good route. Or again, like goes very much, they've done a lot. You know, when you look at the start of the stages, they're basically like, it's just 100 Ks of D road every day. So there's there's climbs early on that are hard enough to attack on, but that aren't hard enough to drop people on. So it's just going to go and it's going to go and it's going to go. And the Tour's found they've found a formula that works with that in recent years, and they've really amplified it. So, I mean, if you're tuning in, you literally, it's going to be like start to finish is going to be exciting racing. I would say pretty much from like 17 of those stages at least.
Durbs, quickly overview. Anything to add to my rundown and Southam's overview?
Oh, I'm like, your overviews give me massive sweats under the arms.
I can see how nervous you get.
It's like, just sounded like horrific time, actually. No, probably. I think, like I said, Southam said, like the back end of the race is obviously like super heavy in terms of climbing meters and things like that. But really, just depends on if you get the story that you want. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like if it's already done and dusted in the first, because it is early, it's hard. So Poggy or whatever starts to take time. Then, but I think it could be quite interesting because, like you said, there's like 17 breakaway stages, and a lot of teams now have decided that Poggy's just going to win the Tour, and we're just going to go there and try and win stages. So it just means these stages are just going to be mental, like absolutely mental, like Tom said. Like it's just going to be super aggressive racing, super exciting. Teams are literally sending all 7 leaders. They're not like workers or anything. It's just like 7 or 8 guys that can win bike races. That's what we're sending to the Tour. And a lot of teams have decided that's what they're going to do. So it's going to be really exciting. I mean, it's going to be super hard, but yeah, nothing really much more to add. I mean, the team's time trial, I'm really glad it's back in the race. That's super exciting for me. I really am G'd up about that. And also, yeah, starting close to home. So yeah, nothing too much to add.
Cool. All right, let's get into it then. One stage to watch, one stage you can't miss for listeners out there. Southam.
I'm going to go with stage 14, Mulhouse. There, like of all the stages I went through, like that is just, to me, it looks like it's the hardest. It's like unrelenting, like a hard climb to finish, but then through the day, it's like first cat, second cat, first cat, first cat. Like you said, there's a kind of Col de la Loze style, like track that's become a bike path climb in there as well. So it's going to be, that's going to be brutal. And it comes, you're exactly 2 weeks in. I feel like if there was a day when anyone was going to try a big heist with it, attacking left and right and breaking the race up, that would be the one.
Who's going to win it?
The race or the stage?
The stage.
Probably Pog or Del Toro.
Durbo?
Mine is stage 3. It is from Greenedge to Les Angeles. It's roads that me and you have ridden around heaps. We actually go through towns like Ripoll. We go through La Molina, and we call up Col de Tozes. The reason I like this stage is I think it's going to be a change of the jersey. So there's going to be a team that's going to take the yellow jersey in the team's time trial. And I think that's going to be a strong enough rider to hold at the next stage. But because it's 4,000 meters, it's a long day to butcher your team on the front, to control it, to potentially lose it in the final anyway. So I feel like if, whoever wins the team time trial, for example, Ineos win the team time trial, are they going to ride that 4,000 meter day to control it, to bring it back, to hold on to the jersey? I think potentially they'll want to put guys in the breakaway, and whoever gets up the road, the gaps aren't going to be big enough, and they're going to take the yellow jersey. So as long as like Poggy and Jonas are happy with who that person is going to take that jersey, I really think the yellow jersey is going to change hands on stage 3. And then that's probably going to be a rider who's going to have the yellow jersey for actually up until Tourmalet, I'd say. So, yeah, that's why.
Nice.
The winner of it, of that stage, well, it could be like a Ben Healy. It could be like a Mauro Schmidt. It could be these climbs are 4,000 meters, but they're not super, super steep. They're super fast, So
I've got my winner for that stage, but I'll mention him when I've got my breakthrough rider. But my stage that I think everyone should watch will be stage 15 from Campagnol to Plateau de Solsayen. Absolutely butchered that.
They've really flicked you this year, the tour organisers. Like, they changed the name of Dauphiné.
You really should. We should have just a segment on Mitch's butchering
pronunciation. Look, Jonas's, it's been there. It's featured 3 times in Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, 2 times in Dauphiné, 1 time.
It's actually Auvergne. A filthy climb, but it's quite nice. Climb. Yeah.
The stage is great too because the Col de Crozet, which is 5K, it's got a section there at 5K at 11%. That's a climb before, which is brutal. The final climb is 11K at 9%. We saw Del Toro go up there just a few weeks ago and win up there. I particularly chose this stage out because I think this is a stage where we're maybe going to see Jonas challenge. I feel like this gradient suits him, the continuation of the finish here, the fact that 2 Danes have won up this climb, Jakob Fuglsang back in the day, Jonas has won there. He'll feel something about that climb purely because he knows the familiarity of that. It's getting in the back end. I like this. I like the fact that there could be a bit of a battle up here, that maybe this suits Jonas. So I think this is going to be a great stage leading into this final big back week. So obviously we could have picked out the Alpe d'Huez stages, but I think this one is going to be purely fireworks before it's all wrapped up and GC is done and dusted. This could be still one where they're going to be battling it out. Should we get into breakthrough riders? Do you want me to continue on with my breakthrough rider while I'm here?
Go for it.
Well, I'm thinking Raul Garcia. It's a bit of a curveball. Movistar. This guy's a weapon. 4 breakaways in Auvergne. He finished 4th and 5th in 2 stages there from those breakaways. He finished 2nd in a breakaway in the Basque Country. He won from the breakaway in Catalonia. He can climb. He can also TT. He's done 2 Tour de France's. Last year he was in 2 breakaways at the Tour de France. This is his 5th Grand Tour. And he won a stage of Route du Sud 2025, which is now La Occitan. And we all know how much that race means. If you win a stage there, you're going somewhere. So, look, I think Raul Garcia, I've had a little tip off.
This is a real surprise. Given your last scouting for your fantasy team, I've taken my hat off to this, mate. You've done actually good work here.
He's
Didn't just go with the UCI rankings.
Proper chart. Standout runner.
I was borderline either going Paul Sexas. Have you heard of that guy?
Young guy.
So
nice.
I think the fact that there is so many breakaway stages in this, and I think the fact that it's on Spanish soil, and I may be too hard for him, but I think stage 3 is a good shout, even if stage 2. I think stage 2 is too early because it's maybe a little too punchy for him. But stage 3, yeah, he's my guy.
I might speak to him. Be like, look, mate, you got a few fans back in Oz, and get up the road.
To be fair, I did get a tip off.
On.
I did get a tip off from Matt White.
True, fair. It's quite a big tip off. He's like the main director at the race for Movistar.
He just said, "Have a look at Garcia," and I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Oh, that's actually a really good shout."
Who's going well in your team, Whitey?
I was going to go for Romeo, and he said Romeo's sick. And I was like, who else do you like? And he said, have you seen Garcia? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, actually, that's a great shout. So he's my guy.
Nice one, Whitey.
All right. Southam, you go?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go with one of my guys, going to go with Alex Baudin because it's breakthrough. He's having a breakthrough-ish year. It was a big win for him at Auvergne and 4th yesterday, French national champs. Nice little result there. Going 1 out against, how big those French teams are, decathlons, FDJs and stuff. Alone out there. So he's obviously still ticking along nicely. And, French riders, when you have French riders in the team, you see the tour is huge for all of us, but for those guys, you see the difference. is massive. And last year, I think it was his first tour, maybe a little overwhelming. One stage started in his hometown, went past everyone he knew. And so this year he's got that under the belt. He's having a good year, and hope to see him in those breaks.
He's had a super consistent year. That's the thing about it. It's like from the start to the finish, he's like been pretty robust and been top 10s here in classics and then stage races and things like that. So, yeah, he has. I mean, in Dauphiné, it was also extremely Auvergne. It was extremely impressive how long he held on to that yellow jersey for as well. So, no Sween Dog this year.
No, he's missed it. Yeah, resting on his laurels since the Tour Down Under podium, mate.
Shout out to Sween Dog. He's good. I hope he's recovering well. He's had some knee stuff as well, so I hope he's all right. Yeah,
no, he's had a few issues, so he's going to miss. Yeah. We're hoping to get him there in time. It's not going to work out, but he's going to be back, man.
It's a shame to miss the 16-wheeler.
Keep it tight, Durbo.
Huh? Keep it tight. Sorry. All right, Jai Hindley. Now, I know that's just pro cycling stats, but I'm going to say...
That's a good shout. He hasn't done much.
Nah, but let's be honest. This is one of the riders that I think is just going to be everyone's talking about big dogs, about Jonas and probably Lipovitz as well, and Remco in Red Bull. And then Jai's, there's something powerful about having ticked off your major goal for the year, which was podium in Giro. And he did that. And now he's no pressure, but still apparently flying and going fit in altitude camp. Like Simon Yates last year, literally just took pretty much a holiday after the Giro, did nothing, still rocked up the Tour, won a stage. You know what I mean? This is the class of the bike rider that we're talking about, Jai Hindley. So I think he's going to be chilled out. He's done his major goal for the year, and he's going to come to the Tour, and he's just going to be we'll see something from him for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of
pressure's off, freedom,
roaming around. Good memories from the Tour.
Yeah, done it before. Stage win, yellow jersey, things like that.
Cool. I like it.
All right. PeloChat. Quick one.
Let's get into it.
I thought it'd be a quick little chat about, is it actually worth doing the two lead up races to the Tour de France or any major objective? We actually have spoken about this quite a bit in the classics, like Mads Pedersen, he got sick and then he had to build up to San Remo, and then some guys opted not to do Paris-Nice or Torino because it was a risk of getting sick. Now these, I would say Paris-Nice and Torino are the two lead-up races to do the classics. And then you have Tour of Switzerland and Auvergne, or the Dauphiné, are the other two stage races that you do lead up to the Tour. Other than Route de Soute, of course, Mitch. But these are the two major ones you'd say World Tour. Now, I've actually noticed that a lot of guys opted not to do them, and a lot of guys who did do them may have regretted doing them, because Remco didn't do either. Lipovitz he was third in the Tour last year, chose to do Tour of Slovenia, a little bit, easier race. A lot of the major sprinters, they all went to Tour of Belgium. So 5 days, do some altitude, go do 5 days of racing, go back. And then if you think about it now, we had Oscar Onley, he's out of the Tour. Romeo, a lot of these guys, we started with 170 riders in Auvergne, and we finished with 90. And guys came out and they were sick and in hospital with some respiratory stuff and some, gastro. And it was there was a lot of people in body bags. And you're thinking, all of a sudden, we've prepped well at altitude. We've spent all this time and money around preparing this rider. They've gone to Dauphiné or to Auvergne. And it's so hard because everyone is at such a high level. And it's almost too hard. It's literally, Auvergne was probably the hardest stage race that I've done. It's almost as hard, or if not harder, than the Tour. So it's almost yes, we used to be able to do it as potentially as preparation. But if you really want to focus for the Tour and be ready for the Tour, is it getting to a point now where they need to do what Tour of Switzerland did and make it 5 days only. Like, I think it's going to get to a point where this history of having, Auvergne or Dauphiné as 10 days or 8 days or 9 days long and things like that. Like, people don't want to do a mini Grand Tour before stepping into a Grand Tour.
It's because they're soft.
Well, yeah. Also, we're soft, but we're probably just ride way too fast these days. So it's an interesting, and also the way we race is completely different.
Well, I mean, Pog's on 16 race days, right?
Yeah. Well, this is what's just crazy. Is like literally why do you go to these races as a potential? You're not doing the tour, like a Luke Tuckwell, for example, and you have a standout performance with a field that is going to, like, looking towards the Tour de France. And that actually sets himself up. He was never doing the tour and he's not doing the tour, but he goes and has an amazing race and everyone sees him with the Tour de France Peloton, for example, and he has a result. So that's like, you still need the race. But do you send a whole lot of guys that go to the Dauphiné to, you keep your Tour de France team away, training, doing Tour de Slovenia, not getting sick, not getting injured, and make sure they're ready to go when it comes to July? And then you send a bunch of guys that are like looking for an opportunity to break into that top team, and you send them to Auvergne and make them like little, like we would send 1 or 2 neo pros to Auvergne or Tour of Switzerland. And like, I know a lot of them that they kind of like don't even finish it. It's like their eyes are just like, oh my God, this is World Tour cycling. So it's like, this is what a Grand Tour is like, but it's for like 21 days, but this is only for 9. So you have a little exposure and then go home. But yeah, I don't know. Like, don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to be a point where if you don't have Remco, you don't have Pogačar, you don't have Jonas. None of those guys did any of those races. Oh, Pogačar did Swiss. Sorry, my bad. But you know what I mean. They weren't there like they would normally be. So,
well, Jonas did the Giro.
It's true.
Classic warm-up race.
Anyway, it's not 100% like proven theory, but it's just.
I hear what you're saying. It's moving with the times. You guys don't need to do races for prep anymore. You do that in training, and you're not scared to do your preparation in training. Years ago, it was a foreign thought that you could do. Even think of the classics. You would never do a classic without the build-up of classics, so on and so forth. So,
but I mean, I think it is like acknowledging the way things are going. I mean, there was like a lot of talk around Swiss being, like they're there was some like they're covering up basically a financial difficulty by saying they're trying to make it more accommodating, but they are being realistic with what they said. Make it 5 days, guys, go back to altitude. Because I mean, you take Cadel Evans road race, for example, the reason people don't go to that is because they want to get to altitude for the classics. Like if you look at how much time people are away, just training, you're struggling to fit races in now, and the effect of coming down, and it makes a big difference. So I think there is something to be said for, modernizing things a little bit. You don't necessarily need to do 8 days. You just, 8 stages.
Yeah, it goes back to some probably some bigger and broader, restructuring of the calendar and restructuring of the whole model. But that's sort of something we can go into in another episode. But that was just interesting to see.
I'll have a chat with my barber about it in a minute when I go down. See what he thinks. It's like, are you working today, mate? Oh, no, I was thinking about restructuring the UCI calendar.
We'll do it. Well, at least your barber talks to you. I walk in, my barber he doesn't actually say anything to me. He literally goes,
That's ideal.
And he just points down. He's like, can I get a haircut? He's like,
Well, we're barbers, mate.
And he's like, it says, I go there all the time. And I've never spoken one word to him.
That's great. I like that. Yeah. No small talk. Brilliant.
He's such a miserable bastard. Anyway, moving on.
Thank you, Durbo. Moving on.
All right, quick talking tactics. The thing for me that jumps out about this tour, I think, is the tipping point in the race where, like, I think there's some outstanding riders, some fantastic riders that are all sort of vying around, the same area in the GC. So I would put Vingegaard, Pogačar, and Del Toro a step ahead of the next group, which would be Pidcock, Remco, Lipowitz, Ayuso, and Sexas. So I think those three just have an edge. I think Pog and Vingegaard do, but also Del Toro, because he's got that he's got that Giro in his legs. He's done. His form's so good. The team's so strong. But where is the tipping point in the race when one or two or more of these guys realize that 4th to 9th is worth nothing to a Pidcock or a Lipowitz or Ayuso? And then they get added into the mix for the breakaways, right? So I hinted at it earlier. Like I think the Tour starting with not with sprint stages is good, because we're not losing 2 or 3 favorites to a mass crash early on, which always you always had this massive list of good guys, but then you could take X amount out just because of crashes. That's rubbish. You don't want the race going that way. So these hillier stages reduce the chance of that, because not everyone's fighting. It's a bit calmer. It's on legs. But how long are the members of this group going to hang around eyeing the 3rd spot on the podium, or when do they drop out and then just go, okay, well, now on top of all of, our team and Durb's team and Movistar and everyone else, you've now got all of Bora going into breaks, or you've got all of Bora and you've got all of Q36. That's going to be the biggest, that's going to, in my opinion, swing the race. Because if you look at, there's 21 stages, there's 23 teams, already 2 teams have missed out, right? X amount go to the guy who's going to win the GC, X amount go to sprinters, and so on and so forth. Things get reduced really quickly as to who's left things. Then if you throw these other teams in the mix that have got guys who are good enough on legs to be between 4th and 10th on GC but don't want to race for it, then even the chances for the breakaway riders are going.
Yeah, well, you got to be a Grand Tour winner or a Grand Tour podium and to go and win a stage. Like, say, for example, Jai Hindley starts kicking off. He's won Giro, Or
Richie Carapaz. We did it with Richie 2 years ago. It's like you've got a guy of that quality, and it was Richie and Yates that day.
Yeah, Olympic champ and Grand Tour winner going next to each other.
Do we expect Pidcock to go for GC?
I don't think he's going to drop out of it straight away. That's what I find interesting about this tipping point.
Because Pidcock, I reckon, potentially could be a point of we're going for this project build with Pidcock. So they might want him to just run top 10 in the Tour. Not try to go for the podium, that's for sure. But it's like we're going to ride GC in the Tour and try and run top 10 and build like this potential long-term project that he's going to be a potential contender for.
Yeah, I think there's an element of that too. Even think of like an Ayuso, right? Ayuso going for stages isn't going to be successful. He needs to go through the process. They need to go through the process, whether he's finishing podium or 8th. He'll still ride G. So he's sort of like Mars.
But eighth place for a guy that you've spent.
I know, but can you imagine Ayuso going for stages on breakaways? Is he going to get stages? Yeah?
Not necessarily, but you've got to do something. Like, at what point do they pull out and go, hang on a minute, we need to get something out of this race?
Yeah, but it's funny because when last year
Triple T probably.
O'Connor was off GC. We took him off GC because we wanted to go for a stage. So he went for a stage. He's, podium on the Grand Tours before and won Tour de France stages. He goes on to win the Queen stage. But then what ends up happening is that puts him back into 10th on GC. Yeah. So at this point, we're running top 10 in the Tour plus won a stage. So it's kind of like what you're saying.
About cash.
No, I'm talking about like Ayuso, for example. Like you pull him off GC, but then just by putting him after a stage, he goes back into GC.
I mean, let's be honest, 7th to 9th, massive sporting achievements, but for a guy like that to be 9th or 7th, to come back into the race, win a stage and come 9th is way such higher value than 7th.
Or 5th. Massively.
Or whatever. Yeah. So how the race gets tackled by those guys, because you remember when Remco lost time at the Vuelta and then just it dominated all of the break stages from then on because you got a guy of that level. Once you get these guys into the mix, it's going to be Tough race.
Oh, God. I should do this.
No, I feel like we've just freaked you out.
This is getting fired at. All right, quick quiz. I'm going to do bikes of the Peloton, rapid fire. It's not multiple choice. You just got to yell it out when you know it. All right? Okay. First team. What bike do they ride? First team is Pulte.
Oran.
Oi, there we go. That's one. One for Tom. NSN.
Scott.
Oh, two for Tom. Total.
Envy.
Nope.
Envy?
Focus.
Nope.
Cube.
There we go.
Cube?
Yeah.
I'm going to get murdered in this. It's too hard. You get to see the bikes every day.
All right.
If you don't get a point, you have to do a lap of the table with your pants down.
Big shout out to this team for doing the tour this year as well. Caja Real.
Oh.
Like something like FNB or FNK.
So hard. Like, I didn't even know. I had to go and Google it. Super hard.
Why'd you do that for us then? It's not like
well, because I thought you guys would be just guns at this. I wanted to do
BYD, build your dreams.
I was going to say, what bike does Trek ride?
Give us a clue.
It starts with M.
MMR.
Oh, there we go.
All right, Southam. I'm going to get absolutely slaughtered in this.
All right. Well, come on, Mitchie. Let's go. Team Rose Rockets.
Rose. Yes, thank God.
They're not in the tour, though.
Doesn't matter.
A few teams he has said in the tour.
Pulte's not doing the tour either. All right, last one. Tom's already won, but
at least I got a point.
With 1 point. Modern Adventures.
Factor.
There you go. All right. Terrible,
absolutely
Mitch.
Killed. Yeah. Sorry.
Horrible quiz, but I just, it was like...
Yeah, it was very short. Okay.
Do it again next time.
Who's going to win? I've got some quick odds for you. Pogs at $1.25. Jonas at $4.50. Sexas at $9. Lipowicz is at $17. Del Toro at $17. Ayuso at $34. And Remco's at $21. Boys, podiums, what are we talking?
Okay, green jersey, you're going to go Tim Merlier. And then for the podium, I'm going to go Poggy, Jonas, and in third, I'm going to go Lipowicz, I think. Same as last year.
I'm going to go Poggy, Jonas. I'm just going to go Poggy, Jonas, Sexas. I think that's what everyone would like to see, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to come in. And for green jersey, I'm going to go Mads Pedersen.
All right. I would go Pedersen for the green, just based off where the intermediate sprints are. Quite deep in stage, or it's going to have a big influence on a few stages. Podium.
Timber Wheel is 8 stages, wins all the sprint stages.
It's not going to do that.
Stages for sprints. Podium, I'm going to go Pog, Vingegaard, and Raul Garcia, I reckon. Third.
I'm getting that talent scout on your team. Tell Langeveld to watch out. Coming for his job.
Thanks, Marty. Good job.
Who's third then?
Raul Garcia.
Raul Garcia. What are the odds? Look that up.
I'm going on those guys.
I'm not a gambling man, but there you go.
Give us a third place.
The Tour, Del Toro.
Del Toro. Yeah, I was going to say Del Toro. Are we doing podiums for what about podiums for Green?
I got to go. I got to give him a haircut. I got to speak to my barber. Heaps to say.
Boys, see you soon.
See you, boys.
See you, boys.